Hey friends, welcome back to BIMvoice. Today, I have the pleasure to talk again to Antonio because he is keeping himself very busy. And now I would like to talk a bit about Tooeen, which I surprisingly just found out on LinkedIn from my CJS or from Antonio, saying that they are taking this initiative to try to build this open source platform that could be an alternative to Forge from Autodesk. I'm baffled. I don't know what to say more. What is this about? Tell me, what is this madness, Antonio? You don't let me breathe at all. You keep giving me hot topics to talk about. What's up?
Maybe I can share my screen and
Of course, go ahead.
explain you on top of the screen. As you know, we have been developing IFCJS, which is a collection of open source libraries that allow anyone to create BIM applications from scratch based on the browser, like 3D BIM applications using web technologies, but not just for the web. But as the project grows, and it's growing very, very fast, and we are making more and more money, there are a lot of companies of all sizes, but especially large companies that tells us that they love the project, they love the technology, they love the philosophy, they think that this is the way and that we will have a huge impact, but they cannot afford to build a whole BIM applications themselves. They have users, they have clients, or they have potential users. They want to start developing BIM software, but they don't want to build the whole thing from scratch because that's simply a lot of work, even when using IFCJS. It's not something you can do in 1 or 2 days. You need to build a lot of things. An application is not just a BIM viewer. It's also a database, an infrastructure where you exchange data between the client applications and the backend. And that needs to be scalable, and that needs to be secure and safe so that the data of your users doesn't get lost or stolen or whatever. And this requires knowledge and requires time and requires a lot of work, of course. And that was one of the main arguments that these companies were telling us, because they weren't able to use IFCJS directly. And they were telling us that they were using Autodesk Forge, which is the tool that we currently have to do such things, to build BIM applications in the browser directly with an infrastructure. So we said to ourselves, IFCJS is growing. We are having more and more technology. Before the end of the year, we will be able to open 1 gigabyte IFC in one mobile phone in less than 10 seconds, probably. We have a lot of things going on. Why don't we do this? Why don't we start making a real alternative to one of the Autodesk products? So yeah, that's how we came up with this Tooeen idea. The problem with Tooeen and also with Forge is that a lot of people in the industry don't understand what is this for, or they ask us, but is this an alternative to Revit? Or no, this has nothing to do with Revit. So let me explain you super briefly. Generally, when we talk about a web application, a CDE, or an application in the web that allows you to access to BIM models and view them and select items and edit data and introduce new data, you have two parts. One is the front end, which is basically the application that you see with the cool 3D viewer where you see the buildings, and then you have here the properties panel and all the tools that you can use and so on. That's one thing. And then you also have the database, where you store your folders, your users, authentication, your models, and all of the security things are here. And these are two different applications, and they are being executed in different computers. This is in your computer. This is in a remote computer somewhere, probably in a data center. So this is what Forge offers, a whole system that allows you to, in 1 or 2 lines of code, have the bare bones of a web-based or JavaScript-based, because this is also valid for mobile phone and desktop, BIM application, including a database, a model management system, a lot of tools that we are developing, such as clash detection, energy analysis, and so on. But one very important thing, and the most important difference between Tooeen and Forge, is that Tooeen is still 100% open source. It will never sell features. All the features will be free and open, and all the technology that we develop will be available in IFC.js completely for free, so that anyone can do it. So what's the business model? What are we? Because of course here the idea is to create a business that generates revenue, that allows IFC.js and the whole project to keep growing and getting bigger and so on. It's something, actually, we are not inventing the wheel. There's many businesses with the business model that we are coming up with. One example is MongoDB. MongoDB is a very famous database system that allows you to create NoSQL databases. The technology is free and open. Anyone can create MongoDB databases without paying anything. But if you want infrastructure, if you want to have a database in the cloud ready to be used from anywhere in the world, safe, scalable, etc., if you want that service, you pay for it as you go. It's like a pay for, and that's our idea with Tooeen. The idea is that it's a product designed for those companies that want everything plug and play and are willing to pay for it, because it's actually cheaper to hire someone that to do the whole thing for you. But we will never sell features. We will never hide features behind a paywall. And that's the most important thing about the whole project.
To test this out, will it be possible like to have a demo account or something without needing a complete infrastructure for this, to try it out, to see how you can use it, or you need the infrastructure from the get-go?
We will make demos like available so that people can try it out for free. Of course, there's also many companies with this model, like even MongoDB or Mapbox, which is also a very famous GIS SaaS. You can start using it for free, and once you reach a specific use rate, then you start paying for it. Mm-hmm. That's very, very common in the industry, and I totally see ourselves doing such a thing. Another important thing is that we will probably allow people to install this on premises, which means that if you don't want to rely on our servers and you want to make your own servers, your own whatever, you can do it. And it's, again, completely free and open. So anyone can actually run this. Anyone would be able to run Tooeen by their own without paying anything and completely.
Yeah, you'll just need the knowledge to implement that. This is like Speckle is doing, right? Isn't this like Speckle is working?
No, as far as I know, the philosophy of Speckle is, okay, there's many applications in the industry. They are the bridge between all these applications. They are let's say, the glue or the mortar that adapts itself to all the. This is different. This is more like, okay, someone wants to make a CDE, or someone wants to make a digital twin, or someone wants to make any application that involves having BIM models accessible from a database in a 3D viewer in an instant, like without you implementing anything, worrying about anything. That's where Tooeen comes in, exactly like Forge. Who uses Forge? Forge is used by, for instance, big asset owners, big supermarkets, big airlines, because when you manage buildings, you need a way to manage those buildings, and managing buildings cannot be opening Revit locally and see if everything's okay. You need someone in the cloud and being able to open in the browser or in a mobile application and see the information of the building in real time, or I don't know, it has, or maybe, who knows, maybe because the idea is to make this extensible, and perhaps this is a bit uncertain yet, but perhaps to open a marketplace that allows anyone to create and sell their own, let's say, plugins, so that if you come up with a clash detection system and you want to sell it, you would be able to do that, both to end users, perhaps, I don't know, we don't know about yet, but especially for other businesses. It's going to be more like the same concept of community of developers that we currently have in IFC.js. We are all learning, we are all growing, and this is a service for those people who want everything right out of the box. Because in the end, it looks like people distinguish between when you pay for something or when it's free. But if the alternative of paying for something is doing it yourself, many times you save money just paying for it and having it done from day one.
Yes, I agree. Now we discussed about what is this going to be, at least a very early picture of it. Now I see there are 10 companies. What you mean by this? Who can join here and what is the idea behind this?
You know that I'm not the only one involved in the IFCAS project. We have more people, and one of those people is Jesus Valderrama, he's the CEO of Apogea, an engineering firm in Malaga. And he doesn't know anything about code, but he knows a lot about business. So he's helping us out a lot in regarding how to make this project sustainable and how to make this profitable and so on. So the strategy first, before starting to write a single line of code, is to validate that the market wants something like Tooeen, and validate that this is something that is really demanded, right? So the approach was super simple. We said, okay, there's 2 weeks. Actually, there's 1 week now almost, because it started this Monday, in which companies that want to get involved financially and strategically in the project can do that. And the idea is to take all the companies, let those companies tell us their needs, and define a specific roadmap to have the first version of Tooeen before June 2023. And it's going to be super, let's say, super scoped. And the idea is that in exchange, of course, these companies will get this product working for free forever. We are very happy because we weren't unsure of how many responses we were going to get. The goal was 10 companies, and so far I think we have over 70 companies applied, and it's just the first. It's just the first week.
I'm very happy to hear that.
Recently, we had Autodesk University, and I think we also messages of people that was not so happy about it. And I will say that, of course, we make our best. But it's in this market, it's not hard to get people excited about making things better.
Because the alternatives really suck.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
yeah.
But no, I didn't say it. But yeah, I think we have a great opportunity to, because right now we are digitizing everything. All the buildings are going to be digitized, both the buildings that are going to be designed and the existing buildings. Yeah. And that means that we need platforms to be able to handle those buildings. For instance, we were contacted by a person in charge of a lot of hospitals, I believe in Spain. And that person was telling us that, well, not exactly that, he was like in charge of an hospital, and it was like a network of hospitals. But anyway, the thing is that they want a system that enables them, because hospitals are public infrastructures, and they want a system that enables them to handle those assets without depending on an external company, an external American company.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with Tooeen. You know that we have Windows, we have Macs, and we have Linux, and Linux is in many times the choice of public entities because it's free and open and so on. That's where we want to get in. We are not one of the big guys, of course, and we want to be the alternative. We want to enable anyone to have to integrate BIM in their digital twin application, or I don't know, BIM application, without depending on the big guys.
I believe the same.
Of course, we are learning as we go. We have people with experience making SaaS in the team, but we are learning. We want to make our best. We want to make the community participate in this. We are in a first phase, and in this first phase of 10 companies, the main goal was to validate the idea and to listen to those companies and their needs. But in the future, we will also make other events in which anyone can participate, and we want to make this just as transparent as the rest of the project. Because, you know, this is, we are in a point, maybe, I mean, of course, we cannot know, but I feel that the project is at a point in which it can suddenly begin making a lot of money and also going really, really fast. And I think that
Developing
now,
much quicker,
yeah, and growing a lot. And I think that this is the most critical moment in which we have to make the right decisions to not lose the same philosophy that has, let's say, led the project since its beginning.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's the mantra of this community. This is what is built upon, right? So it's important to preserve that.
Absolutely. But I also think that, I mean, open source is great, but if it's not sustainable, I don't think it can actually make an impact. Of course, it can be an alternative for those geeky guys that sit down and want to make a couple of scripts with a library. But in the end, to make an impact, you need money. And you need resources to invest in features, and you need a serious roadmap. So yeah, this is going to be completely parallel to the courses that we will keep releasing, of course. So I like it a lot because I see the project growing suddenly in many directions at the same time. And I see that in all directions, we are getting a very, very good reception from the people. So yeah.
That's very good. So it looks like the next future looks very very bright. Now, one last question before we wrap this up. After you will have these 10 companies, and you will decide if you will have only 10, maybe you will decide to go with more. I don't know. Maybe is that set in stone that you will choose only 10 companies, or maybe if they're like, is there any way to stack in more of them just to add up more funds?
It depends, because here we have companies that have 10 employees and companies that have 90K employees. So it's a bit, I mean, maybe we stick to the 10 companies, but personally, I don't think that's the most important part of this, let's say, step, because it doesn't mean that the other 60 companies will stay out forever. It just means that we will choose a small team that wants to be like really closely involved and work with them
to launch the project. Yeah.
Yes. But I don't know, we weren't expecting the amount of companies that we get. Of course, it was a very, very good news. We will probably decide once we see how many we get in the end, and also which companies do we have. But I don't think it's important whether we choose to stay with 10 or we choose 20 or 15. It doesn't matter, because in the end, this is about making the right steps to validate the idea and to make something that the people find useful and that makes the whole thing sustainable.
That can scale up for the entire industry, maybe.
Because the whole idea behind this, of course, we could, we are finishing to elaborate the advanced front-end course right now, and we expect it to make a lot of cash. Like, I think with the first course we made it depends what you understand by a lot, but I think it was like around $100K more or less, just the first course, and we are making more. Of course, for us, it would be super easy to take the money that we get from the courses and just put it into the Tooeen initiative and do it ourselves without calling anyone. But that's not how we want to make things. We really want to for me, one of the main complaints of the people about Autodesk University was that they don't listen. So the whole premise of Tooeen is, okay, let's start by listening. Let's listen and let's see what we find out.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. When are we expecting to have MVP, a minimum viable product or a concept, something after you start this?
Maybe I regret saying this out loud here today, because someone bring this later, but the plan is June 2023.
So next year, by June.
We will release many things before that. We will design user stories, and we will release the designs. We will see, we will show them around. We will listen to the opinion of people. We really want to build this together with other people. Of course, we are coordinating, we are managing, but yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you heard that, yes? Now your voice will be heard. Get involved. So easy. Talk about it. Spread it in your social media, because it's helpful. Like, we need this. We are complaining all the time that uncounted letters to these software vendors that they don't address our requirements, right? Now you get the chance. Now you finally have someone listening to you. Get involved.
Also, one thing that I believe that this can be one of the best news that I got from. I know this might sound a bit vindictive. I don't know if that's a word in English, but one of the best news that I got since Monday is that when we announced this, we suddenly got a lot of relatively negative comments from people that work in the big companies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like super happy to see that. Oh, okay, they didn't like this, so that's good news.
That's good. That's good. They are scared. They start to realize.
No. I don't know. But I mean, if one day I wake up and I have 100 comments from 100 employees of the big guys in my publication, that will be a good day for me. Because this is about making things better. And if what we do makes them make their product better, in the end, we also win.
Yeah. Of course, they will finally have some competition and push them actually to develop their products based on what people want and what people need. And of course, making it even more available for more people. Yeah. Okay, man. Thank you very much. I'm very very happy to hear all this, and very excited. I'm really looking forward to the summer of 2023.
Yeah, so do I. Let's see how this ends. I'm very, very excited and also very happy. And I think that all the people that applied is very interested. So yeah, let's build this together.
Amazing. Thank you very much again, Antonio.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Petru.